The other day, I woke up to an innocent question in my Discord DMs. Want to try my escape room? Small Ant challenged me to complete his Pokemon Fire Red escape room, where the goal was simple: escape. There was no timer ticking down or really any stakes at all, so the only thing on the line was the pride in my Gen 3 Pokemon knowledge, and when has that ever come into question? Immediately, I know that the best thing to do is assess my surroundings by looking through my party Pokemon and scouring the box for any additional ones that might have been cheekily hidden from me. Surprise, surprise, there was a single Skitty waiting for me in box 12. I used my extra time at the PC to find a smoke ball hidden in my stored items, as well as peek at the team that somehow managed to beat the Elite Four. That'll probably be useful information for later. So, looking at the team in front of me, I clearly had half of one of the 3 pieces required to solve this puzzle. Taking a look at Skitty, I immediately found the key to progress: payday. Inside the Pokemon Center, there is an NPC who offers an important hidden machine to move forward, but it comes at a price. With no place to sell items in sight, it was time to figure out a way to fire off a payday. How about we test that out on some wild fishing encounters? What do we have? Seeking? Okay, all right then. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to farm money here. Well, if I can't farm money fishing, how about in the double battle blocking my path? The secret to our power, our Pokemon all have strength. Okay, awesome. Wait, no, this is fine. This is fine. Well, I actually don't know how this works if we wipe. All right, we wiped it out, so we have no money. No money. Yeah, that's not going to work either. These kids weren't joking about their Pokemon strength. I was now 0-2 on choosing ways to farm money. Those were the 2 most obvious paths to take, so maybe there was some secret hidden pathway that I needed to find. In my hunt to find one, I realized that things were much, much more bleak than I had first thought. Oh wait, hidden item? Oh my god. How to read Braille in Pokemon. Apparently the hardest part of this is just going to be pattern recognition. Wait, hold on, pause the video. I might actually be able to make this one out. It looks like it says, "Hey, awesome viewer watching this video right now. Have you heard of this incredible product called Factor, the meal delivery service that provides chef-crafted and dietitian-approved 2-minute meals straight to your doorstep?" Wow, how perfect, because I was just about to talk about the sponsor of today's video, Factor. Cooking can be hard, so what if there was a way to make it not that? Well, that's where Factor comes in. Factor takes the stress out of meal planning and sets you up for success, so you can skip the grocery store's prep work and cooking fatigue. These restaurant quality meals can be made in as little as 2 minutes, so if you find it hard to make time for cooking like I do, then Factor is perfect for you. Factor is super flexible too, so if you've got a week where you need more meals, they've got you covered. Need to cut back? They can do that too. There are over 35 different meals to choose from, including options like keto, calorie smart, vegan plus veggie, and more. So you really are able to customize your needs to make your Factor experience perfect for you. Factor also offers gourmet plus meals like this Gorgonzola butter filet mignon, and I gotta say that having a meal like this in just 2 minutes is absolutely criminal. With Factor, I just grab a tasty meal from my refrigerator, throw it in the microwave, and then boom! Delicious meal ready in just 120 seconds. This is a great opportunity to both support the channel as well as support your healthy lifestyle, so it's truly a win-win. Get 50% off your first Factor box and 20% off your next month of orders using my link with code KIDAUG50. Click the link in the description or scan the QR code with your phone. Thanks again to Factor for sponsoring this video, and let's get back into seeing if I can escape this room. 10 minutes later, and I'm immediately back to my stubborn ways. Apparently, I had just failed to carefully read Small Ant's message that he packaged with the escape room, where he said that the spawns in each location are only that one Pokemon. So I proceeded to spend the next several minutes completely wasting my time fishing around for anything but seeking. No matter how hard I tried, there was no magic Feebas tile that would allow me to farm infinite money on, even though I thought this random reflection tile could be one. Oddly, that was the jolt my brain needed to realize that I could simply just walk around the double battle with only one Pokemon in my party and get to that patch of grass with the Sableye that I've known existed due to my keen senses. I heard a cry, but it's probably from that grass over there. It's probably not from the water. I don't think I can fish up a Sableye. Eventually, I managed to bring my Smeargle through to sketch Nightshade on the Sableye, but that still didn't solve my problem of being able to farm money. The Sableye also had Leer, Foresight, and Scratch. Foresight, of course, being the most useful move from this bunch. If I somehow had a way to sketch both Foresight and Payday, then we were in business. But surely I'm not expected to grind this Smeargle all the way up to level 21 for 2 more sketches, right? Wait, okay. I think I know what I need to do. Wait for it to click Foresight. Perfect. Then we sketch that. We take the Foresight. Smeargle, 07, you're gonna have to die. Die for the cause. All right, 07, buddy. Okay, so now we have a dead Smeargle. Okay, so we should only have 1 Pokemon, but we have 2 in our party. But now this should let us get past the double battle. Nice. Okay, and now we just farm assists until we get Foresight. First try. Show me that Foresight. Easy. Okay, there we go. Now we just click Payday. I don't know how many times I have to do that, actually. Please tell me that was 100. I just need 100 Pokédollars, man. It's not, is that too much to ask? Oh my god. So I ended up doing a tad bit of extra work after sketching the unnecessary Nightshade, but I had finally solved phase 1 of the escape room after a mere hour and 15 minutes. I managed to grind enough money to afford a single Rock Smash HM, and the shiny Togepi finally found its use. We had made it to phase 2. Break free! Break free, Togepi! Let's go. Where I was immediately greeted with more Braille. So after learning Braille for the second time this stream, I found 3 new NPCs. 2 wanted to trade me for a Wobbuffet and a Stantler, hint hint, and the other had a Muck that had somehow gotten a Moonstone lodged deep inside its body. Wink wink. At this point, all the pieces were laid out in front of me. I just needed to make sure that I performed them all in the correct order so as to not get soft locked. The first step I decided to take was trading away my Smeargle for the Wobbuffet to bring my total up to 1.5 pieces to solve the puzzle. Smeargle almost always feels like it will be the key to any solution in these types of challenges, so this was certainly a scary decision to make. Luckily for me, it was the correct one. I just wasn't quite 100% certain why it was the correct decision yet. Wobbuffet was holding on to TM17 Protect. One of the hints did inform me that beating the twins was, in fact, impossible, so I needed to figure out how to make use of them in a losing effort. Protect was clearly going to be a vital piece to that formula. I decided to teach it to Skitty as this was the only Pokemon that seemed to be able to make it out of the twins fight alive, or at least long enough to let Wobbuffet take down someone with her. But just how much experience would she need? We do get Covet at 31. Oh, wait a minute. I think I know what it is now. We go covet the Moonstone off of the Muck. We evolve Delcatty. We covet the HM here, and then we've solved it. I think we're in there. Show me big covet. Give me that item. Whoop, that's mine now. Thank you. Yep, the correct solution is always the shill. Anyways, I had pretty much figured it all out by this point. Covet the Strength HM off of the twins. Whoa, that's a callback. Then immediately traded away for the new non-shiny toy, Stantler. This big-horned lad came equipped with a rare candy, which I immediately fed Stantler, given the move he would learn at level 31. The Braille message behind this trainer confirmed that the Muck's only 2 moves were Dig and Mimic. It would always see a kill with Dig on Stantler, so I just needed to PP stall it with Endure until I could use Roleplay as Muck tried to Mimic. So, after a couple of execution errors on my part, we got the Moonstone! Woo! We did it! Oh, shoot. Did I forget to take this cute? Oops. I eventually dislodged the Moonstone from this poor girl's Muck and was able to turn this half into a whole. The Skitty strats prevail once again as Delcatty can now learn Rock Smash and Strength, meaning that we are now able to pull Wobbuffet out of the box, completing the final piece of the puzzle. A couple of quick sacrifices later, and the escape room was officially over. But just as I thought I was finally free, a second escape room hit the Discord DMs. This time, the difficulty was ramped up significantly. Taking place in a Generation 4 game really opened up several new ways of trapping the player inside. Escaping would be much harder, so my friend Drew and I decided we would complete it together. But the power of friendship is boring, so we decided to turn it into a competitive race to see whose Pokemon knowledge could carry them to freedom. Now, I will be the first to admit that my knowledge of Gen 4 Pokemon mechanics is not nearly as high as it was with the previous generation. So I figured I would already be at a disadvantage, and unfortunately, all of that time I spent learning Braille for the last escape room was for naught, as there was no Braille in sight this time. Does that even make sense? In its place were 10 pieces of mail providing hints to each of the 9 battles in addition to one readme. Drew and I both agreed that we would read the first battle's hints just to set us up on the right path, as there were 3 different fights that we could theoretically start with. With that, we counted each other down and the race to escape was on. After quickly perusing through the starting area, the first pieces of information that I had noted were obviously the 3 fights, but also a single headbutt tree, 2 shopkeeper NPCs in the Pokemon Center who sold Custap berries and heart scales respectively, as well as an additional 2 NPCs who offered up move remembering services and Beedrill warnings? I mean, I'm sure that will be useful, but this guy really isn't pulling his weight the same way these other NPCs are. Turns out, his words were immediately useful, as the first requirement was to find said Beedrill. Not in the wild grass, mind you, but rather hidden in the world's largest bee nest. One quick look at our partner Hypno's Learn set. Have I mentioned this is the only Pokemon we have yet? And it was clear where the first heart scale would be going. Each and every Pokedollar mattered in this escape room, so I could not waste anything. Meaning, before I white it out, I needed to dump all of my money into buying heart scales and Custap berries. After that, the first step seemed simple enough. Use a combination of Endure, Custap berry, and Switcheroo on Beedrill to obtain the Poison Barb, and then use a pre-damage Hypno to proc Custap berry to Steel Sableye held TM56 Fling. Simple, right? So we teach Fling to Hypno and equip the aforementioned Poison Barb, then we're one Endure Fling combo away from stalling out this Sableye like it's the Emerald Kaizo Elite 4. Alright, and then we just have to wait for this thing to die to poison, which is going to be awesome. Look at that big damage! Let's go, Hypno! Nice, that chip mattered. Fling chip definitely mattered. Beating this first fight gave us access to the move Secret Power, which has a lot of different use cases. None of which would be useful in the next fight that we unlocked, given that we were staring down Sinnoh's most horrifying ghost-type Pokemon. Giratina's trainer tried to offer some valuable insight, but this man was talking at 1,000,000 miles an hour. Okay, time to read fast. Okay, we gotta read fast. My Giratina on a higher level, my opponents have no chance. Bro, it's so fast, man. Why is he doing so fast? Well, after taking multiple opportunities to hear him out, I was finally able to comprehend what he was saying to me. I guess this means it's going to be a while before we can take on this Giratina. I'll need to find some way to level up my Hypno first. The other 2 fights that had been available to me since the start were Chuck, who dropped his 2 Cantonian fighting types for a level 100 Shedinja with Shadow Sneak, still no Jodomons, and Hiker Timothy, who has a single level 40 Tyranitar with Seismic Toss. Timothy might appear to be a hiker, but was clearly more of a sailor or tuber type of guy who enjoyed spending his time in the sand. Or was he? When Secret Power is used in the sand, its secondary effect is lowering accuracy by 1 stage, which, no matter how lucky I got, wouldn't help me out here. However, there was a single patch of grass that could have potentially been in his sights. Does he see me from here? Oh, okay, yeah, okay, that's it. So we need to teach Nightmare. Clearly, I knew exactly what the solution needed to be. Buy an additional heart scale from the money obtained in the first fight, allowing Hypno to relearn Nightmare and allowing me to, after getting a little lucky, slowly chip away at Tyranitar's health through the power of a bad night's sleep. I was now finished with just 2 of the required 9 fights to escape, and I hadn't even reached the hard parts yet. Passing Hiker Timothy's test unlocked the move deleter. If you couldn't tell from the first couple of battles, basically every fight uses something that you gained access to after beating the previous one. That would continue to be the case throughout the whole escape room and is very important to keep in mind. Clearly I was going to need to forget some moves, but which ones? There were a few different combinations of moves that I could have at this point given the level up learn set, so I wasn't even 100% sure if I had taken all of the correct moves. Like, maybe Poison Gas had some use somewhere. I'll try and do it on this, but I think it might actually be Chuck instead here. Okay, well, maybe it doesn't matter. Okay. All right, well, back to the drawing board. That's a funny little trick. It's specifically a Pecha Berry, so it's like, no, 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 that is not the intended answer. You thought you could cheese this fight, so I guess not. It was pretty clear at this point that the way forward would be behind that level 100 Shedinja. One interesting thing to note is that after the previous battle, I was now dealing with a rather unruly Hypno. Since I only had one badge at this point, my newly leveled up Pokemon had decided that he was too good for me and no longer wanted to obey. Hopefully, beating Chuck would solve this issue, and it's even something I mentioned at the time. Okay, I think maybe the little bit of luck required is the fact that it doesn't listen to me, but once we get Chuck's badge, then that shouldn't be a problem anymore. Okay, this is gonna take a while. But I just could not figure out what I was intended to do. I had tried a few different potential solutions, like using the move tutor to delete all of my moves except Endure, and then depleting all my PP on Wild Abras with the hopes that would somehow put Struggle in the same priority bracket as Endure, but... Oh. Okay, wait, it doesn't matter. Well then. Unfortunately, that's not how that works. I also screwed up my split timer here somehow. I know, shocking that a top 5 speedrunner of the Nintendo Switch port of Pokemon Snap wouldn't know how to use live split, but hey, that just means people that skip to the end will think I did this way faster than I actually did. Anyways, it was back to the drawing board. I spent so much time theory crafting what exactly I was supposed to do here. I tried exhausting all my PP, all but one of my PP. Pretty much everything I was attempting revolved around Endure and its PP. But that was leading me nowhere. 45 minutes later and still 0 leads, I had to check in with Drew to see how he was doing, where he offered me some sage advice on what the solution to the next fight would be. But I guess I just don't know. I don't know what I'm supposed to use to fling on it. Like, Custap Berry is the only thing that I can think is like the only thing that I had money for. I'm just gonna die to it anyways.
So whatever you just said, keep in mind whatever you just said, and that will lead you to the solution.
All right, I'll try it and see if it.
You should, I think, maybe get confirmation from Smallin if it's possible with what you have right now.
I almost guarantee you it's not, because I think I've exhausted like pretty much every option that I could. Yeah, he says no. So now I had to reset so that Hypno would have Fling, but thankfully once you already know how to do everything, it actually goes by extremely quickly. While I knew that I needed Fling, I still didn't quite understand how I was supposed to use it. The Custap Berry only allows me to move first in my priority bracket, so I wouldn't be able to pre-damage and then fling my items since Shadow Sneak would always out-prioritize it anyways. Not to mention, I'd have to consume the berry in the first place, so there would be nothing left to fling. I was truly and utterly stumped. After over an hour, my brain was just completely fried, but yet, somehow in the face of insanity, I managed to figure it out. Oh. I think I figured it out. Quick editor's note here because I feel like I did a pretty poor job of explaining the actual solution to this fight in the video. The idea was that I needed to use the dark type move Fling to actually hit the Shedinja, but the problem was, how do I out prioritize Shadow Sneak, which is +1 priority? So the solution had to do with the Disobedience command, and this is some niche Pokemon knowledge right here. So as you can see in Gen 4, we have all of these different, I guess, consequences of our Disobedience. And one of these is that the Pokemon uses a different move if it ignores your orders. So this is what I was fishing for by clicking Endure over and over again. And just look at how far down this is on the Obedience page. By the way, Bulbapedia wasn't even up when we were doing this, so I had no way of looking this up because those other sites don't really count. But then the solution was you get into the +3 priority bracket with Endure, and then that obviously out-prioritizes Shadow Sneak, so then you can then use the other move and then fling your Custap Berry and kill Shedinja. So That just clears that up, hopefully, because I feel like I did a pretty terrible job of actually explaining that. So back to the video. Let's see if I can, oh, there we go. Okay, well, oh man. Thankfully, Chuck sends out a sacrificial Latios as his last Pokemon, along with some helpful words of advice. Chuck sent us off with a shiny new gym badge, and now I would no longer have to worry about Hypno disobeying me. But, as he said, this was the last time that we would be battling together. With no Pokeballs anywhere to be found, how exactly was I supposed to get a new Pokemon to use in Hypno's place? I explored every inch of this map looking for a new Pokemon to catch. But maybe I wasn't supposed to catch a new Pokemon at all. Is there like something behind here? Oh my god. Nice one. All right, there we go. Hiding the NPC behind the Pokemon Center? That is tricky lad. All right, let's go. It's mime time, baby. Oh, he was sticking out a bit. I didn't even see him. I was just like, where else on the map have I not even explored? I'll be real, I'm a little embarrassed I never caught that. Well, now Rocky was here to help lead the way, and taking a look at his moveset, I managed to figure out exactly how I was supposed to get past that pesky Giratina that had been blocking our path. And that took all of 5 minutes. Woo! Progress. The next step would prove to be not nearly as simple. Immediately following the Giratina battle, I was greeted with a choice. A choice between 2 separate fights against Mew. One being level 22 and the other being level 100. You may think that the choice here would be obvious, but looks can be deceiving. This level 22 Mew had only Seismic Toss, so I thought that reteaching Mr. Mime Copycat would be the answer. Don't tell me that it lives on like 1 HP. That'd be really embarrassing. Does not. I was missing just one crucial component. Somehow, despite realizing that I had enough money for both another Heart Scale and Custap Berry. Okay, that's big money right there. That's, I think, enough to buy another Custap and another Heart Scale. I never actually tried it and ended up spending 30 minutes trying other things instead of just buying the Custap Berry. Surely, Psybeam, 6 levels higher. We can do enough damage here, Rocky. I believe in you. You have plot armor. You're Rocky, for crying out loud. Just kill it, man. Okay, Psybeam. Okay, easy. Oops. Surely I won't waste that much time again. Anyways, it was on to the next Mew fight. Defeating the previous Mew gave us just enough experience to learn Substitute, so I knew this would be vital in defeating the level 100 Mew. And I was correct. Because that eats our sub. We're able to get 1 more off, I think. Do we have enough HP? Oh, wait, no. Okay, we do. Yeah, okay, perfect. Okay, now we win. We did it. We succeeded. We had just enough PP. All we needed was a substitute. Okay, perfect. So yet again, I followed up another painfully unnecessary solution with a quick and easy one. Unfortunately, I deleted all my moves to get through that battle, only to then be told I just needed to delete Psybeam. One quick redo later, and we could progress to the next battle. And that next battle would be a tricky little Spindafellow holding a Toxic Orb. The previous fights gave me no additional money to work with, so I was going to be forced to use everything I still had remaining from what had been done up to this point. And when I say everything, I mean everything. Remember those hints that I mentioned at the very beginning that I said Drew and I both agreed we wouldn't use? Well, since we both now found ourselves stuck at this same fight, we decided to use one. But not in the way you might be thinking. No. We weren't going to be reading these pieces of mail. We were going to be holding them, which was a realization I came to seemingly out of nowhere. Wait. Can I do this? Please. Oh man. Substitute, try it? Okay. Dude, I've watched all the speedrun videos about not being able to trick the mail. I should have thought about this sooner. Okay, well, I think we win. We did it! Alright, we're through. We just had to use the battle hints, man. That's really all it was. You'd think that after watching several speedrunning videos about the very topic of tricking away mail would have clued me into this solution a lot sooner, but no. My 30 minutes of struggling to figure this out was not as bad as Drew's hour and 40, but my worst moment had yet to come. The final section of the escape room would truly break me. I was not ready for what was next. After defeating the Spendifite, I crossed a bridge to the last area where I would spend way too much time. Sunken down in the crevice was a level 29 gift Magnemite with Endure, Torment, Recycle, Fling, and a Roat Berry that we will now need to use to defeat the final 2 battles. The remaining NPC was just a huge Magneton fan who would do anything to get rid of his Natu for one. I astutely knew that this would be our one-way ticket out of the escape room. Okay, so Natu, I'm assuming, is our flyer that gets us out to talk to Mom. So we have to somehow evolve into a Magneton. So we have to gain experience to get this Magnemite up 1 level, and then we get Natu. But I was certainly lacking the foresight on just how long it would take me to complete this seemingly simple task. As for the fights themselves, Fight 1 was a double battle with 2 level 1 Smeargles as the lead with a surfing level 80 Ghastly in the back. That seemed to always knock out both of my Pokemon. Fight 2 was a pair of twins who, surprise, also lead with level 1 Smeargles, but this time they're bringing out the big strong level 100 Tentacruel in the back with Barrier and Acid. A move that will always kill our Mr. Mime but can never touch our Magnemite. My biggest issue ended up being determining which fight I needed to complete first. I spent a good chunk of time toying with different strategies to beat the Tentacruel double, but it was to no avail. And I mean, I was trying it all. Some weird fling strat where I just threw Oran Berries over and over again at my Mr. Mime to try and stall out the Tentacruel with a combined 60 PP. Yeah, that wasn't going to work. On to the other double battle to see if I could cook up something there. Surely a big surf from Mr. Mime will do some damage. Yeah, that wasn't going to work either. I was at a complete and utter loss for what to do. Eventually, my brain became completely fried as I sat there in complete silence for hours staring at Pokemon summary screens. After sitting there for what felt like an eternity, I had mustered up enough brain power to realize that I needed to use the Roat Berry that the Magnemite was holding in combination with my Mr. Mime to deal damage to Tentacruel by tormenting with Magnemite and then enduring with Mr. Mime on the acid turns to deal damage with the Roat Berry and the Life Orb chip damage that Gen 4 decided was not an important enough piece of text to display on screen. And also something that I might have noticed had I paid attention and not sped up through my very first battle against it several hours ago. But because of the fact that I was now essentially running on fumes, I made this mistake.
No.
Oh.
No.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah, needless to say, I wasn't in the mood to finish the run on that day. So I came back at it hard the next day, filled with caffeine and ready to take on any challenge that might present itself. With a fresh new mindset, I was confident that I'd be able to bust this escape room out in no time. Oh, and Drew is here again to help me out if I truly become stuck. A clear mind is what I needed to properly maneuver through the first double battle, and that experience gained from defeating Tentacruel was just enough to bring our Magnemite up to level 30, forcing the evolution to Magneton. We wouldn't be acquainted for long as I swiftly traded him to Richard for the ultimate key to victory, Billy the Natu. Billy came with a Pitaya Berry that will increase the holder's HP when it drops below a quarter, or is forcibly consumed by a move like Fling, Bug Bite, or Pluck. Nudge, nudge. Not to mention, keeping Mr. Mime alive in the previous battle allowed him to learn Recycle. You see where this is going? I tried the battle once, plucking Mime's Pitaya Berry and then recycling to gain it back. Then using the second turn to copycat Roost so that I'd regain enough HP to repeat this process over again. The only problem is that when Ghastly finally decided to rear his ugly head, he still just outsped Natu and killed it in one shot. If only I had some way of making sure that I'd always be able to move first. With only 640 Pokédollars, a lagging tail, and an Oran Berry to sell, that left me with a grand total of 750 Pokédollars to my name. 250 short of another one of those coveted Custat berries. Drew offered me some sage advice.
No, so basically, if you talk to him and you change your date to Black Friday, then it sells at 50% off.
No way. I can't believe they factored that in. The Black Friday deals. But this shopkeep wouldn't budge. If I couldn't muster up another 250 Pokédollars, I would be stuck in this room forever with absolutely no escape. Unable to come up with any quick money-making schemes, I returned to the summit to try a few more attempts at the double battle. It was in these trials that I made a realization. A pluck into Mr. Mime plus a substitute brought our friend Rocky to 21 HP. One Endeavor copycat turn later, and I could also bring Billy down to 21 HP, which just so happens to be exactly 1/4 of her health. Meaning that it just barely meets the criteria for a Custat Berry proc. This had to be the answer. I had figured out the correct solution. I simply lacked the means to execute it. I just needed one final hint. Well, maybe it's more like I needed 10 final hints. Can mail have like items attached to it? Let's see. Do I have it in my bag now? Bro. Is that really what you're supposed to do? Yep. Wow. Incredible, dude. That's a good one. Finally, I had used up the last of my resources to get that additional 250 Pokédollars to make one final purchase. And what do you know? It's almost like I had figured out this solution an hour ago or something. So we should be able to proc Custat Berry here. And hope for the best. Come on, Billy, please. Please kill.
Oh, no.
Unless I was supposed to do it one more time. Come on.
It's dropping.
Okay. I was like, if this is a roll, I'm going to be very upset. Billy, you did it. You can evolve now. An astonishing 8 hours later, and the suffering had ended. Billy the Natu reached their final form, learned how to fly, and together we rode off into the sunset. This is freedom. So yeah, I'm probably not going to do another one of those.